So let's talk about breathing today. Breath is the essence of life, yet it is very personal. On an average, human breathes 21,000 times in a day, more or less here and there, depending on individuals. We cannot survive without it. Our spirit is connected to the body through our breath because first breath, we're alive. Last breath, we're gone. So, yet, most of us are not breathing in the way that supports our health and well being. I worked with seniors from 1920s born, and all they said was, why are you here this time in our life? We have been breathing wrong way all through our life. Yes, a lot of seniors go for mouth breathing because during their therapies, they're asked to inhale through their nostril and then blow out through the mouth, which also cultivates them to start mouth breathing, which is not right. Majority of people breathe through their nose rather than their mouth. Nose breathing is always healthier than mouth breathing because breathing through your nose helps filter out dust, pollen, other allergens, simultaneously boosting oxygen consumption. Breath is very personal for everybody. But if you can think about how you breathe, it will make a big difference in how you feel. It can downstream the consequences that affect other systems and tissues only by noticing your breath. How quickly, how deeply do you breathe? Has a significant impact on how your mind functions, how your nervous system functions, how quickly um, if your breath is, it impacts your parasympathetic nervous system, which controls our body's relaxation response. A person's respiratory muscles are more engaged during inhalation. And when they breathe through their nose, so their lungs can take in more oxygen. This increases the amount of oxygen in a person's body takes in, making nose breathing the most effective option. Breathing through the nose is more beneficial than breathing through the mouth. Nose breathing filters heat. It's like I saw a man running on the street the other day and it's quite cold, and the amount of breath he's inhaling while he's running, the body's functions so beautiful that your nostrils know that the air is cold. It needs to change the temperature of the breath going in. It humidifies the air as it enters the body, reducing the risk of infections and other problems. Don't you see what a miracle body we have in just terms of nostrils? That's it. The cilia inside our nostrils really help out. Whereas in the mouth breathing, it just goes into your gut. How you breathe matters. So please learn to breathe. Most of us breathe in and out all day long without even pausing to think about it. But it turns out that paying attention to your breath produces big change in your body and mind. I ask most of my clients to put an alarm so they can focus on their breath. If you're a techie person, every hour is important. When the rate of breathing is slow, our parasympathetic nervous system gets the message that everything is okay. It is safe to relax. Fast and shallow breathing, on the other hand, puts our body into a mode of like emergency, sends signals to sympathetic nervous systems like, let's run, we are in danger. So we kick in our fight and flight mode by just our breathing. All those people, after finishing their yoga class, who run out without doing shavasana, they're actually compromising on their health and wellness because in that shavasana, when you are slowly breathing, your body understands all that movement you did is not a danger to your body. Half of the time, when people say yoga can cause side effects, these are the things that they don't really pay attention to. Our lungs, what a beautiful thing it is. Our lung sits inside in our chest cavity or thoracic cavity on either side of our heart. A large muscle before below the lungs called diaphragm is so important We have so many yoga poses that increases the strength of diaphragm, and diaphragmatic breathing is very important. It is the power to really help the lungs intake more oxygen. This muscles, the diaphragm muscle contracts in a rhythmic pattern to help draw air into the lungs from the nose. To breathe in, the diaphragm becomes flattened. This increases the size of thoracic cavity to decrease pressure inside the lungs. This decrease in pressure draws air into the lungs and inspiration happens. You should see the anatomy of the lungs and diaphragm. Our left lung is a little smaller than our right lung because it has to accommodate the heart. It's so beautiful. During the exhalation process, the diaphragm relaxes. This decreases the size of thoracic cavity and increases the pressure inside the lungs. That's why when you hold your breath for a few seconds, there's this emergency mode that's created because the diaphragm is the one who says, come on, we need to exhale or we need to inhale. Together, these actions expel air from the lungs. The heart and the blood vessels in the body make up the circulatory system. This system is what transports oxygen and other nutrients to the lungs to other part of the body. Breathing problems. A lot of people suffer from breathing problem. They come up with pollution. Oh, our fireworks is a big pollution, right? For sarcastic because fireworks doesn't even matter when it comes to pollution. It's just for 2 3 days. Breathing problems for many people, breathing is an unproblematic process. Like when you see babies, they're just happily breathing. But in some cases, individual may experience breathing difficulties where they have shortness of breath. I felt like when I lived in Denver, there was a lot of breathing issues only because of the altitude that also affects. Congenital anomalies, obstruction to parts of airways also can be a problem. Lung problem, pneumonia, asthma, heart disease, allergies, anxiety disorder. So when you have improper breathing habit, breathing through nose becomes really important for warming, humidifying the air before it reaches the lungs. The nose also filters the incoming air, removing irritants. Proper breathing should be practiced. And it should come from the stomach, not just from the diaphragm or the chest. So when I take my clients through breathing, deep breathing, they've hardly breathed that way. And another thing that most of them do as a mistake is when you inhale, you push your belly outwards. When you exhale, you suck the belly in from the navel to the spine. Example for improper breathing includes breathing through mouth. Mouth breathing may be necessary when you do intensive workout because we need that oxygen, but not otherwise. So make sure you constantly remind yourself to breathe through nose. Even when I'm running, when I'm exerting, I try to stop and then try to really push that breath through my nose. Active lifestyle is very important to promote lung health because if you don't really activate that breathing relaxation technique and how to help your breathing, you're not giving your body that amount of challenge with respect to keeping up all the organs healthy. That's why pranayama, the pranas, exercise. Ayama is nothing but exercise, and you're exercising the breath. You are in control of your breath. Gives you longevity, wellness, health, mental calmness. There's so much more that our ancestors have already known. That's why we have pranayama, which we practice every day. But guess what? Everybody wants to pay the doctors and medical system and do those things rather than paying attention to their own breath. Again, breath is personal. I'm not I'm not saying it's bad. So next, I have found that a lot of people who come with mouth breathing, they just say, "Really? I've never heard that I have to breathe through nose." And do I really breathe through nose or breathe through mouth? A lot of people are in that confused state too. So, nose breathing offers many health benefits, but mouth breathing does not. So, the filtering process helps traps certain particles within the nose, which can keep microbes and allergens from entering the body. It decreases the chances of developing cold, allergic reactions, and flu. When you don't breathe through your nose, you are more susceptible for all these things. Nose also retains moisture from the air, so it can prevent nasal dryness. Of course, we practice Nasya in Ayurveda, where we moisture by putting oil into our nostrils. Chronic mouth breathing can really be detrimental for health because it gives you tooth decay, gum disease. Teeth can look different, jaw structure is different. If you see a lot of mouth breathers jaw, it will be completely different. They will have difficulty swallowing. So additionally, mouth breathing does not humidify or clean the air like the nose breathing does. So remember that you are actually swallowing a lot more pathogens into your gut, which can cause more infections for you. Physical effects of nose breathing, you can make a big difference. The research, there's so many research on this whole thing. When you breathe during aerobic exercise, if you're breathing through nose, the chances of hyperventilating is decreased. And also the breathing through nose produces nitric oxide. This also improves performance during exercise. So, if you think about nose breathing, it has all plus. Why did God create our nose? Just for the breath to go in. So, remember that. Why did God create our mouth? To eat food. There was also strengthening connection between different brain regions during this research when they checked the breathing type of a person. Then they did not find any benefits when you did the whole mouth breathing. With time and practice, I'm sure everybody can learn breathing deliberately so you can restore body's natural balance and promote wellness. So lung capacity increases. Actually, people who live longer are the swimmers and the yoga instructors. Why? They breathe so much. They breathe into the organs. Every pose is designed so well that the oxygen reaches optimally to those organs. Now, if you think about slow breathing, it is a great way to really live longer and healthier, even about diet and exercise and lifestyle factors. Did you know that? So, the hair inside our nose, the cilia, what a big gift. Actually, I have a lot of people who pluck it because it just grows. Anyways, you can cut it a little bit. It's a natural filtration, preventing allergens, dust, and pollen from entering. And yeah, again, we spoke about the nitric oxide. Releases nitric oxide, which helps to widen the blood vessels. It makes easier for the nutrient rich oxygenated blood to reach all the organs and tissues. So we need that. We need that. We need the breathing style to be so slow that it actually recruits the vagus nerve to regulate the fight and flight responses. It brings you to a restful mode, you know. So it is hard to tell whether you are breathing through your nose or to your mouth, especially when you're asleep, right? So waking up, if you have dry lips, you will be using abundance of saliva, one of the indication that you're a mouth breather. Like when I'm talking, my lips definitely dries up, whether I'm not, even if I'm not breathing through my mouth, but I am sending out a lot more air out of my mouth, right? Other clues include snoring, sleep apnea, bad breath, chronic nasal congestions. These are like the symptoms that you can be assured that you might be breathing through your mouth. Now, how do you correct it? Correction is so easy. Mindful breathing. That's it. Enhance lung functions such as alternative nostril breathing, belly breathing. I ask my clients to put a pillow before they go to bed so that they can focus on pushing the pillow up and then watching it drop down. That itself relaxes a lot of people. Exercising regularly, but with focus on the breath. I see a lot of people doing weights, a lot of people doing aerobics, a lot of people doing other activities. Are you focusing on your breath? This is why I love Tai Chi. even Pilates for that matter to some extent, but Tai Chi takes you to focus on every single move, including your breath. Yoga, Tai Chi, great for if you are a person who doesn't know what is happening with your breath. Then, placing the tongue on the roof of your mouth with the tip resting against your teeth can promote nose breathing too. Give yourself subtle clues, alarm, just pay attention. Pay attention to how do you feel? How's your breath going on from your desk? Put an alarm. Be mindful. Then there are other things that the doctors come up with, the remedies of like, they will change the jaw structure, they will remove the nasal passage things, their surgical intervention. Don't go for all those things. Trust me, pranayama. Pranayama has been designed by our ancestors and it's lived all its life for several thousands of years. If you could just surrender to that practice, that holistic practice of learning breathing exercise, we have first level, second level. Oh, and please beware of package pranayama. Nowadays, we have amazing gurus from India who can just say, hey, practice this pranayama. I've seen a lot of people come up with a lot of imbalances. As an Ayurvedic profession, we see a lot of clients coming up with a lot of imbalances in their vata, pitta, and kapha because they're doing wrong breathing pranayamas. If a pitta person who already has a vikruti and is doing kapalbhati, who is doing bastrika, is going to have a lot more issues, because sometimes you need to understand how vata, pitta, and kapha work. So please consider, if you're doing package pranayama, check where you're going wrong. If your digestion is wrong, if your digestion is having a problem, even if you're doing that package pranayama which makes you feel like you're in an exotic state of existence, it might be damaging you in some way or other. So we conclude, nose breathing, the best, provides more oxygen than mouth breathing. So please breathe through your nose. And yeah, we are heading into that winter zone where, I don't know where flu went. Everybody only talks about COVID, but anyways, please breathe well. If you need any help, reach out. I'm always here. I can help you through breathing, whether it's anxiety, hyperventilation, anything hyper. I can help you relax and always tell you which breathing technique is helpful for you in long term without causing any imbalances, because we do have such amazing pranayama stuff. A lot of senior pranayama teachers will not teach you all the pranayama, um, unless you practice for a longer period of time. But I am well versed in teaching from beginners to seniors. So reach out for any breathing issues. I can help you herbally with respect to Ayurveda. I can also help you with yoga. And also, there's another connection with the same breathing pattern. If you hold a lot of emotions in your chest cavity, you will have breathing issues, because if you're grieving, if you're sad, if you're guilty, emotions affect our breathing too. A lot of time when I'm doing healing, when the person who is getting healed is releasing a lot from their chest cavity, they end up breathing well. So that inhalation and exhalation becomes more. So that's the healing component where emotions are stuck, and that can also be possible the reason for you not having a healthy breathing pattern. I've also known that pneumonia, bronchitis is because of bad environment at home, or if there is fights and disagreement and arguments with your relatives, then also you counter bronchitis and all those things. So let me know how you need me. I'm always here. My name is Vinaya Saunders, and that was my analysis for breathing. I will see you guys in another video. Bye.